Hello all, in this video we will derive the Oracle complexity for Frank-Wolf or conditional gradient algorithm for general smooth possibly non-convex functions. So let us look at the Oracle complexity result. Recall that as in the projected gradient descent case, we cannot use gradient norm as a metric because the gradient norm does not go to 0 in this case. Instead, we use the conditional gradient divergence as defined earlier, which is given by s of x equal to max over u in calligraphic x, inner product of gradient f of x comma x minus u. We will establish the following result for smooth function f and compact set calligraphic x. The number of iterations required to ensure that the minimum of s of x over all t from 1 to capital T is less than equal to epsilon is given by t equal to order bf into ld square divided by epsilon square. For epsilon dependent step size, eta equal to epsilon by ld square. In the proof, we proceed again in the same way using the quadratic upper bound on f as f of xt plus 1 minus f of xt is less than equal to inner product of gradient f of xt comma xt plus 1 minus xt plus L by 2 xt plus 1 minus xt norm square. And then recall the update equation implies that xt plus 1 minus xt is equal to eta t times yt minus xt. So substituting that, we have that the right hand side is equal to eta t into inner product gradient f of xt comma yt minus xt plus L by 2 into eta t square into norm square of yt minus xt. Now the first term is nothing but the conditional gradient divergence. So it yields that f of xt plus 1 is less than equal to f of xt minus eta t into s of xt plus eta t square L by 2 into norm square of yt minus xt. Finally, the second term can be bounded using the compactness assumption. So yt minus xt norm is less than equal to d, so that we obtain that f of xt plus 1 is less than equal to f of xt minus eta t s of xt plus eta t square ld square by 2. So let us carry this inequality over. We have used up all the properties, so now we can just carry out the telescopic sum, which yields that summation over t equal to 1 to capital T eta t into s of xt is less than equal to f of x1 minus f of xt plus 1 plus ld square by 2 summation over t equal to 1 to capital T eta t square. Whereas earlier we can bound f of xt plus 1 with f of x star and f of x1 minus f of x star with bf, so as to obtain that the right hand side is less than equal to bf plus ld square by 2 summation of t equal to 1 to capital T of eta t square. Now the left hand side also has an eta factor, so we can replace s of xt with its minimum value over all the capital T iterations, so that we obtain minimum over t from 1 to capital T s of xt is less than equal to bf plus ld square by 2 summation of eta t square divided by summation of eta t. So continuing, in the expression obtained earlier, if we replace eta t with eta, it would look like minimum of s of xt is less than equal to bf by eta capital T plus eta ld square by 2. We have already seen how to calculate the Oracle complexity for such a setting. Equate each of these terms with epsilon by 2, then we will obtain that bf by eta t is equal to epsilon by 2 and ld square into eta by 2 is equal to epsilon by 2. So solving for eta, we obtain that eta equal to epsilon by ld square, and then substituting and solving for t, we see that t is equal to order of bf ld square by epsilon square, which is the required Oracle complexity. Generally, epsilon dependent step size may be impractical, so we can get a slightly worse bound if we use an iteration dependent step size. Eta t equal to eta naught by square root of t, where eta naught is some parameter that we will have to determine. So in this case, the bound is given by minimum over t s of xt is less than equal to bf plus ld square by 2 eta naught square summation t equal to 1 to capital T 1 by t divided by eta naught into summation from t equal to 1 to capital T 1 by square root t. For this case, however, we would need to carry out these summations of 1 by square root t and 1 by t. So let us look at a very useful way of calculating this kind of discrete sum by approximating them using integrations. Suppose that we are required to find the sum of the form summation over t equal to tau plus 1 to capital T of zeta t. So then we can approximate it as follows. So the sum is upper bounded by integration from tau to capital T zeta x dx, and it is lower bounded by integral from tau plus 1 to capital T plus 1 zeta x dx, where zeta t is any discrete sequence, but zeta x is a well-defined smooth function that interpolates zeta t for all x in real. Applying that here, we see that the following bounds can be obtained. Summation from t equal to 1 to capital T 1 by square root t can be lower bounded as integral from 1 to capital T 1 over square root x dx, which is equal to 2 square root t minus 2. Likewise, summation from 1 to capital T 1 over t is less than equal to 1 plus integral from 2 to capital T minus 1 over x dx, which is given by log of t minus 1 minus log 2 plus 1. Finally, substituting these bounds and ignoring all the constant terms, we obtain that min over t s of xt is less than equal to bf by 2 eta naught square root t plus eta naught ld square by 4 log of t minus 1 by square root t. It remains to choose eta naught. We can choose it so that the coefficients of the two terms are equal, that is bf by 2 eta naught equal to eta naught into ld square by 4. So eta naught will be equal to square root of 2bf by ld square. So substituting this value where we have ensured that the coefficients become same, we get that min over t s of xt is less than equal to square root of 2bf ld square into 1 plus log t minus 1 divided by 4 square root t. Now the log t by t term is not invertible and closed form, so we cannot simply equate it to epsilon. So in this case, we have to roughly calculate the Oracle complexity. You can verify that in this case the Oracle complexity bound is roughly given by t equal to order bf ld square by epsilon square log 1 by epsilon. So you can verify by substituting t in the original bound. There will be a small additional term that we would have to ignore in that case. So in conclusion, the iteration dependent step size yields a complexity that is slightly higher than that obtained from epsilon dependent step sizes. There are two issues with such an approach. First, that it depends on the parameters, and second, it is slightly higher because of the log 1 over epsilon term. So both of these issues can be resolved by using an adaptive step size. So let us look at how that is obtained. Let us look at the adaptive step size choice, where we choose eta t equal to min of 1 comma s of xt divided by L yt minus xt norm square. This choice requires us to know s of xt, but since that is the objective of our update subproblem, we already know its minimum value from solving the first subproblem. Similarly, at iteration t, we already know xt and yt, and therefore the norm of xt minus yt is known. However, it does require us to know L, but there is no need to know D, which is the diameter of the calligraphic set X. We start the proof in the same way. That is, we write down the quadratic upper bound for xt and xt plus 1 and make relevant substitutions so as to obtain f of xt plus 1 less than equal to f of xt minus eta t s of xt plus eta t square L by 2 into yt minus xt norm square. So which is the inequality that we had earlier in the section as well. Now instead of bounding the last term, we consider two possibilities corresponding to the choice of eta t. So let us consider the two cases. In the first case, we have that s of xt divided by L norm square of yt minus xt is less than equal to 1, and eta t is equal to s of xt by L times xt minus yt norm square. So that we can substitute this value of eta t and simplify so as to obtain f of xt plus 1 less than equal to f of xt minus s of xt whole square divided by 2L norm square of xt minus yt. Now we can apply the compactness of calligraphic x on the denominator of the second term so as to get the bound that the right hand side is less than equal to f of xt minus s of xt square divided by 2ld square. And then in the second case, eta t equal to 1, and in that case s of xt divided by L times norm square of xt minus yt has to be greater than equal to 1. So in that case, let us substitute eta t equal to 1 so that we get f of xt plus 1 less than equal to f of xt minus s of xt plus L by 2 norm square of xt minus yt. And then use the condition that we have assumed so as to get that this is less than equal to f of xt minus half s of xt. So now we have two bounds depending on what eta t was, which in turn depend on what s of xt was. We can combine those bounds so as to obtain that f of xt plus 1 minus f of xt is less than equal to minus half minimum of s of xt comma s of xt square divided by ld square. We were able to write this because the second term is smaller when eta t equal to 1 and the first term is smaller in the other case. So now we carry out the telescopic sum, which yields that f of x capital T plus 1 minus f of x1 is less than equal to minus half summation over t equal to 1 to capital T min of s of xt comma s of xt square divided by ld square. Then rearranging and using the fact that f of xt plus 1 is greater than equal to f of x star, we obtain that the summation over t equal to 1 to capital T min of s of xt comma s of xt square by ld square is less than equal to 2 times f of x1 minus f of x star, which is less than equal to 2bf. So now dividing both sides by t and using the fact that minimum is less than equal to the average, we obtain that min over t min of s of xt comma x of xt square by ld square is less than equal to average of the same quantity over all t, which is 1 over t equal to 1 to t min of s of xt comma s of xt square by ld square, which is less than equal to 2bf divided by capital T. So now in this case you have two different terms on the left and the oracle complexity is actually different for each of the terms. So we will need to consider the two terms differently and then take the maximum of the two. So at this point, let us say that t is equal to t prime is the iteration where the minimum on the left hand side is attained. In other words, we have that minimum of s of xt prime comma s of xt prime square by ld square is less than equal to 2bf by capital T. Then there are two possibilities. Either s of xt prime is less than equal to 2bf by capital T. So equating it to epsilon, the oracle complexity would be t equal to 2bf by epsilon, or else we would have that s of xt prime square divided by ld square is less than equal to 2bf by capital T. Or equivalently, taking square root on both sides, we would obtain that s of xt prime is less than equal to square root of 2bf ld square by square root t, which yields the oracle complexity t equal to 2bf ld square by epsilon square. So in general, the oracle complexity would be the higher of the two values, which is that t equal to 2bf by epsilon max of 1 comma ld square by epsilon, which is the required result. Note that for epsilon small, always the second term will be higher. So this oracle complexity is also order 1 by epsilon square as earlier obtained. So with that we have derived all the results for Frank-Wolf algorithm. Let us summarize the results obtained for the Frank-Wolf case. So we have the assumption, and let us write down the metric, the step size, and the oracle complexity that we have obtained for that step size. First we have the convex case where the metric was the optimality gap at x of capital T, and the step size was eta t equal to 2 by t plus 1. And we obtained the oracle complexity of order LD square by epsilon. Then we have the convex case with the same metric but a different step size, eta equal to epsilon by LD square, and the oracle complexity was order LD square by epsilon log of 2bf by epsilon. So that was slightly higher by a log 1 over epsilon term. Then we considered the general case where the metric was always min over t s of xt. In the case where eta equal to epsilon by LD square, epsilon dependent step size, the oracle complexity was order bf LD square by epsilon square. On the other hand, in the case when eta t is equal to square root of 2bf by LD square small t, the oracle complexity was order of bf LD square by epsilon square log 1 over epsilon. Finally, if eta t was chosen adaptively as min over 1 comma s of xt divided by L norm square of yt minus xt square, then the oracle complexity was order 2bf by epsilon max of 1 over LD square by epsilon. So it is instructive to compare these complexities with that obtained for projected gradient descent. For both cases, the overall dependence on epsilon is roughly the same. However, as compared to the projected gradient descent, there is no linear convergence result for strongly convex F. You can go back to the analysis and try to see if imposing the strong convexity condition at any point would help us improve the rate. It would in fact not. And it has actually been shown that strong convexity of F is not sufficient for linear convergence of Frank-Wolf algorithm. Instead, the linear convergence rate requires us to assume more things on calligraphic X, which was not the case with projected gradient descent. So that is all for this video, and for Frank-Wolf algorithm, we are done with our discussion on smooth functions, and in the next video we will start with looking at non-smooth optimization problems.